approval process, the services approval process, and then we are going to get into the online system. So the Youth Services Department, the role and function of this department is really to ensure compliance for all plumbing, water, and wastewater systems. We intend to do this in order to safeguard public health and the environment. That's why we want the compliance. And we do this by ensuring that the new building projects and new developments can receive a safe and reliable supply of potable water and also suitable means for the collection, treatment, and disposal of wastewater arising from the building project or the development. So there are two main groups. We look at plumbing approvals and we look at building development approvals. And on the screen you can see the main differences between the two groups. So the plumbing approvals have to do with internal piping within the buildings or on the premises, and it deals with the distribution of potable water and disposal of wastewater. That's the plumbing side. The building development approvals, this deals with more infrastructural works where you have subdivision of land and you'll be required to lay mains, whether it's water mains or sewer mains, valves, manholes, bridge crossings, etc. So firstly, we're going to get into the approval process for the building development. And there are three main stages: outline approval, design approval, and completion certificate. The outline approval stage is really approval in principle. When you receive an outline approval from the authority, it tells you the conditions necessary for the provision of potable water for the development or building project, and also the most suitable means for disposing of the water arising from that project. After you receive outline approval, you're required to submit designs for approval. When you get your design approval, it is really approval to install the designs. We'll be saying that we have reviewed the designs and they are in compliance with all the guidelines, code standards, and therefore you now have permission to install only when you receive design approval. The third and last stage is the completion certificate, and completion certificate comes after inspections are done, and it gives confirmation that all the works that you would have installed are in accordance with the designs that were approved and with all relevant guidelines, codes, and standards. So here we get into a little more detail for those of you who are developers and LSCs especially. Here we get into a little more detail of exactly what is required as we go through each stage. Building development outline approval stage. 1, you see all the things that are required. So you complete your application form and items 1 to 9. These are all the things that you need to attach with that form. Now, unless we receive all the documentation, we cannot begin processing the application. So you need to submit all of these. Once we check through and that is correct, then we're going to print an invoice and ask you to pay that invoice. After we receive proof of payment, then we begin processing the application. Outline approval involves the conducting of water and wastewater feasibility studies. As we said before, this is to determine how you can get potable water to the project and also the most suitable means for disposal of your wastewater. At the end of the outline approval stage, you would collect either outline approval or a letter telling you that the project is not feasible. If you do collect a letter saying that the project is not feasible, it doesn't mean that this is the end. The authority is still going to review that project within 3 to 6 months, depending on whatever repair or upgrade works we may have planned. Your outline approval is only valid for 1 year. So you need to submit your designs after receiving your outline approval. You need to submit your designs within that 1 year period. If you don't, we have to start all over. Building development design approval. Similarly, you submit your design drawings to review, and these are all the types of drawings that may be required depending on the type of developmental building project. A fee applies in order for us to review the designs, and at the end of the stage, you will either collect